Hollywood taught us slaves built the Great Pyramid under the whip. Modern archaeology tells a completely different story. In 1990, a tourist's horse stumbled on a hidden wall near Giza. Underneath was an entire lost city archaeologists never expected to find. It was the forgotten town where the actual pyramid builders had lived. Archaeologists Zahi Hawass and Mark Lehner spent years excavating the site. The year was around 2560 BCE, during the reign of Pharaoh Khufu. The Great Pyramid was rising on the Giza Plateau. The builders were not foreign slaves at all. They were Egyptian citizens, serving a rotation of state labor called corvée duty. Farmers owed the king a set number of workdays every year. Many historians link the timing to the Nile's yearly flood season. When floodwaters covered the fields, farm work simply stopped. Idle farmers became a massive, temporary workforce, paid in bread, beer, and meat. Workers were organized into large teams called gangs, split into smaller crews called files. Graffiti on hidden blocks reveals real crew nicknames, from Friends of Khufu to Drunkards of Menkora. A single work gang could number 2,000 men, with several gangs on site at once. Based on the workers' town, historians now estimate roughly 20,000 laborers total. That is far below the 100,000 slaves the Greek writer Herodotus once claimed. A workers' day began before sunrise, inside crowded mud-brick barracks. At dawn, overseers organized the crews and assigned the day's tasks. Workers walked from their barracks to the quarry or build site. Bakeries on site were enormous, built to feed thousands every single day. Industrial-sized breweries on site brewed beer that doubled as a worker's wage. Animal bones show workers regularly ate beef, sheep, and goat, richer fare than most farmers ate. This was rationed food for a valued workforce, not a starvation diet. In 2013, a discovery at Wadi al-Jarf revealed a builder's routine firsthand. French archaeologists found the oldest inscribed papyrus ever discovered there. It was the real logbook of an official named Mercer. Mercer's crew ferried limestone blocks down the Nile toward Giza. His diary describes sailing to the Tura quarries for fine white stone. That Tura limestone became the smooth casing covering the entire pyramid. The pyramid's core blocks came from a quarry right at Giza itself. Workers cut them using only copper chisels and heavy stone pounding balls. The massive granite blocks for the inner chamber traveled much further still. They were hauled by boat from Aswan, 800 kilometers south. With no iron tools and no pulleys, workers relied on wooden sledges. Teams of men dragged each loaded sledge across the sand by rope. A later tomb painting reveals their trick for cutting the friction. It shows a worker pouring water in front of the moving sledge. In 2014, physicists confirmed wet sand cuts sledge friction in half. Raising 2-ton blocks up the pyramid's sides remains a fierce debate today. Some argue for one straight ramp, others for a ramp spiraling around the outside. A newer theory points to a hidden ramp built inside the structure itself. Whichever method they used, the entire base was leveled to within 2 centimeters. Builders aligned the pyramid to true north using the stars. Their alignment was off by only a fraction of 1 degree. Scribes tracked every worker's rations, attendance, and output on papyrus. Skeletons from the workers' cemetery show broken bones that had fully healed. One skeleton even shows a leg amputation the patient survived and recovered from. When laborers died, they were never simply discarded. They were buried in their own cemetery, within sight of the pyramid. Small tombs bear titles like overseer of the side of the pyramid. Some tombs held married couples and children, proof families lived alongside workers. Being buried this close to a king's pyramid was an honor never granted to slaves. The Great Pyramid took 20 years, built from over 2 million stone blocks. Far from a monument built on suffering, it looks like a triumph of cooperation. It was fed, sheltered, medically treated labor that raised this wonder, not chained slavery. Next time you picture the Great Pyramid, forget the whip and picture a baker, a doctor, and a diary. Which detail about the real pyramid builders surprised you the most? If this changed how you see the pyramids, subscribe to Fossil to Fact for more real ancient history.